A 15-year-old boy is dead after he was hit by two cars in St. Louis Park. It happened on Highway 7 near Texas Avenue around 6:15 last night. The State Patrol says a car was driving west and after passing through a green light hit the boy. The collision sent the boy flying into the eastbound lane where another car hit him. The boy's name has not been released. Troopers only say he was 15 years old. And this morning, as Americans ask what can be done, a community in South Florida mourns the deaths of 17 people.
Thousands came together for a vigil in Parkland last night.
God bless our first responders. They ran in. As we ran out, they ran in.
Massive crowd of people remembering those lives senselessly taken on Wednesday at a high school. All of those killed have now been identified. One, an assistant football coach, was shot shielding students from bullets. Officials say the 19-year-old suspect did buy the assault weapon legally at a Florida gun shop. Investigators say Nicholas Cruz confessed he used the assault rifle to kill students and faculty. And after the shooting, as WCCO's Jennifer Mayerly reports, he dropped his gun and blended in with students to get out of the school.
Nicholas Jacob Cruz.
Yes, ma'am.
Nicholas Cruz appeared in court one day after he methodically shot and killed former classmates and educators.
You're going to be held without bond.
Authorities report Cruz took an Uber to school, where he walked in with a black duffel bag and a backpack loaded with ammo.
At 2:21 hours and 33 seconds, the suspect readied his rifle and began shooting into rooms 1215, 1216, 1214. He went back to 1216, back to 1215, and then to 1213.
The sheriff says the rampage continued through several classrooms before he dropped his weapon and blended in with other students running out of the building. Cruz made a stop at Walmart, buying a drink at Subway, and later sat down at McDonald's. About 40 minutes later, an officer spotted him on foot.
He looked like a typical high school student, and for a quick moment, I thought, could this be the person? Is this who I need to stop?
An hour and 20 minutes after the massacre began, police took the shooter into custody. President Trump addressed the nation, saying no one should be in danger in a school.
It is not enough to simply take actions that make us feel like we are making a difference. We must actually make that difference.
Well, Trump avoided talking about gun control. The mother of one of the victims demanded action.
They shouldn't be able to walk into a school without any metal detectors stopping these kids from just walking into our school and killing our kids.
Jennifer Mayerly, WCCO 4 News.
Cruz was expelled last year for disciplinary reasons that have not been disclosed. His attorney called him a deeply troubled young man who fell through the cracks. She said he is fully aware of what is going on.
Authorities say Cruz left warning signs on social media. Instagram posts from years ago show him posing with knives and guns. As recently as September, a bail bondsman went to the FBI after a Nicholas Cruz comment on YouTube, quote, saying, "I'm going to be a professional school shooter." In a statement, the FBI said after a database review, it was unable to identify the person who posted the comment.
Technically possible to track down the IP address as long as a user log is available when it comes to a YouTube post. Now, being technically possible and actually putting someone together with that post can oftentimes be two different things.
Kyle Loven spent nearly 20 years with the FBI, but now works in computer forensic analysis. He says basing a criminal investigation on speech that's protected by the First Amendment is something investigators just simply cannot do. Stay with WCCO for continuing coverage as we learn more about this deadly school shooting. The memory of Flip Saunders is now a permanent part of the Target Center.
Minnesota Timberwolves unveiled this banner ahead of last night's game. The unveiling followed a special ceremony that included speeches from play-by-play announcer Kevin Harlan, former players Sam Cassell and Chauncey Billups, along with some of the members of Saunders' family. This night was for Flip, but it also benefits the Flip Saunders Legacy Fund, which was established to support deserving individuals and groups to continue to portray Flip's positive impact he made on everyone. Current head coach Tom Thibodeau reflected on his memories of Flip Saunders.
Who he was as a person, you know, he was a special guy. He just, you know, he had the unique ability to make everyone feel good. You know, he'd come up and you felt like you were his best friend. He loved the game. He loved people. You know, and just, you know, and again, just the way he carried himself. When it was going great for him, he had great humility. When things were tough, he was still always upbeat. He was, you know, just a really special guy.
Flip Saunders led the Minnesota Timberwolves from 1995 to 2005. He came back to coach in June of 2014 and died of Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2015.
As far as the game goes, defense made the difference against the LA Lakers. Jimmy Butler had some crowd-pleasing blocks in the closing minutes as the Wolves rallied from early deficits in the game to win 119 to 111. A win the Wolves badly needed before the All-Star break. Minnesota's home record is now 24-7, and you never know when it's an emotional night, an emotional pregame, how a team is going to respond. So nice to see that the Wolves responded with a win.
Yep, came back. They were down in the third and came back and got it done in the fourth, so very cool.